Come play with us, Daddy.
Hey folks, Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. Welcome back to the channel. I haven't done any looks at physical media recently. I haven't done any for a couple of months. I've been focusing on the 80s horror. We've been doing a live tier every Thursday night, a live interactive vote, which you guys, if you're interested, can actually join and vote for your favourite horror movie of the 1980s. We've been doing it a year at a time, so starting with 1980 and going all the way through to 1989. The top 2 movies of each month will be thrown into a final vote off in about 6 or 7 weeks' time, I think, where we'll crown the overall top movie or top horror movie of the 1980s. It's been going well so far. We're about 4 episodes in. Got all the way up to 1983 the other day. I've got 84 happening this Thursday. And so it's quite fitting that 2 4K box sets arrive this week of 2 titles that we've already covered on the live vote off. So they are. And I've never ever had my hands on one of these editions before, so it's quite exciting, and I'm quite overwhelmed by how big they are. 1980s The Shining. It's in 4K. These are Film Vault special editions. 2 Warner Brothers titles, number 9 and number 10, I believe. And I haven't ever purchased one of these before, so I didn't quite know what to expect, and they are massive, these boxes, and we'll open them up in a second so you can have a look inside. But this one's for The Shining, and then the second title is another title we covered, and it was Poltergeist as well. The Shining was in the top 2 of 1980. I think The Fog won that year on the live tier that we've been doing, and The Shining finished second. So both The Fog and The Shining will go into that final tier vote happening in 6 or 7 weeks' time, whereas you'll be able to vote for The Shining for the best horror movie of the 1980s. Poltergeist, unfortunately, didn't finish in the top 2 on those tiers, but we still have this amazing box set here to look at. I'm so excited to dive into these. Like I say, I've seen these before. I've never actually bought one, and recently I had a load of new shelves installed around the room, and I'm not sure if it's going to fit on there, to be honest. But you know, we'll see. So let's start with The Shining, given that one was 1980. We'll crack this open. I can show you the back. There you go. All the stuff that you get inside this, and then a closer look at the front as well. It's very difficult with this shiny slip over it, but I'll take the slip off slowly so you can see. There it is, this kind of transparent effect slip. And then inside we have Jack Torrance with the maze there on the artwork, and on the back the typewriter. And you can see as well here that this is number 599 of 6,000 that were made of this. They are still available for sale at the moment. I'm not quite sure how long they'll last. Past releases they've done included things like Jaws, so I'm guessing that these will be around for a little longer, but may not last forever, I guess. It's sort of a magnetic box that these come in. If I can just open it up there, and then you get the typing from the movie, all work and no play, etc, etc. Very nicely put together. There's the Steelbook sitting inside. I'll show you the Steelbook first. There's the front cover of the Steelbook. There's the back cover. And there's the spine. 2 discs, 1 Blu-ray, 1 4K. Like so. Put that on one side for a second, and we'll have a look at the other goodies that have been put inside. So we get this little kind of folder in here. Open it up, and I believe there should be some posters and lobby cards and things like that. So let's have a look. 2 posters, one with some newly commissioned artwork, which is that one, which is kind of what you see on the front of the Blu-ray. And then we have a reversible poster that has the original artwork. I remember this on the Warner VHS back in the early 80s. The Shining is a movie that I appreciate a hell of a lot more as I've got older. I think as a lad who was kind of around about 7 or 8 years old when this movie first came out and was off the back of movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th and The Fog, I think, you know, The Shining was probably a little bit too taxing for me when I first saw it. I think I first did I first learn about this from Terror in the Aisles? Maybe I did, but I seem to remember watching it earlier than that, maybe around about 82, 83 or something. For me back then, it was a slow burn, being 9 or 10 years old when I first saw it. I can't quite remember exactly when it was, but it was a slog. And, you know, the most memorable parts are that finale with him chasing Shelley Duvall around the house. But as I've got older, I've watched it numerous times and really appreciate it for that kind of psychological horror that it really is. I've never read the book, so I can't really compare it to that. But I know that as a movie, it's one of those staples that each time that it's on the TV, I can't help myself but either continue to watch the rest of it or start it from the beginning, because it is one of those films that plays with you and is so layered that I think you get something different out of it each and every time that you watch it. So 2 posters there. There's the yellow poster as well, which I didn't show you, which I'll just crack out again. That one there, masterpiece of modern horror. Okay, what else is in there? We have a bunch of lobby cards. There you go, shot of Jack in the maze there. Here's Johnny. Shelley Duvall holding that big knife when as Jack starts to stalk her in the final 20 minutes of the movie. And the quote on the back is, "Well, let's just wait and see. We're all going to have a real good time," says Wendy Torrance. Picture of Danny there at the side of Shelley Duvall sleeping, and he's writing red rum on the door. And then one of Scatman Crothers outside in the, is it like a snowcat he drives or something like that? I can't remember now. I think a lot of things happened in this particular hotel over the years, and not all of them was good. I always feel really bad for him when he when he bites the dust at the end there. He gets that axe slammed into his chest. It's fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. We also have a still of Lloyd as well at the bar in the Overlook. "Good evening, Mr. Torrance. It's good to see you. You have always been the caretaker," says Delbert Grady. There's a picture of Stanley Kubrick behind the camera. More BTS stuff as well, with Stanley and Danny Torrance looking at one of the monitors. And then finally, some places are like people. Some shine and some don't. So that's all the lobby cards that you get with this. And then in terms of the extras on this, we've got a commentary by Steadicam inventor operator Garrett Brown and historian John Baxter. That's on the 4K. Vivian Kubrick's documentary, The Making of The Shining, with optional commentary. 3 mesmerizing featurettes, View from the Overlook, Crafting The Shining, and The Visions of Stanley Kubrick and Wendy Carlos, composer. And that's all that appears to be on there. Now, it is in Dolby Vision and DTS Master Audio. It's HDR10 Plus as well, which is a big bonus for me. And it's the cut is 144 minutes long. Shame that there isn't the Atmos track on there. You know, I always prefer an Atmos track. A nice thing to have, even if it is a bit of a beast of a box set. It will sit on my shelf somewhere. But yeah, very happy with that. Always nice to have these things, especially when you really think highly of the movie as well. There are a lot of these things that I wouldn't buy, these Film Vault editions, It just so happened that two of them that came out recently were two of my favourite horror movies, and so I bought The Shining, and as I said earlier, I bought Poltergeist as well. So let's have a look at Poltergeist. There's the back. Thankfully, this is in... Oh, no, it isn't. I thought it was going to say it was in Atmos because of the Dolby logo there, but it isn't. It is DTS HDR Master Audio. Let's pull off the slip there, and you have that artwork there of Jo Beth Williams standing in the doorway. On the back, you have the tree. And then again, it's a magnetized box, which I'm just going to open up. And inside, you have the little wallet that holds all the lobby stills and everything has got interference on there from the TV screen. And then also a little miniature poster of the original artwork there. Okay, I'll show you the 4K first. There we go. Carol Ann in front of the TV on the cover there. And then that creepy fucking clown thing on the back. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Again, you get the 4K and the Blu-ray. And Carol Ann on the left-hand side of the packaging there. Again, you get posters of the newly commissioned artwork and the original artwork as well. There's the newly commissioned artwork. Here is the original poster. Of course, it's there here. And then, which I believe is the... I'll take a stab, the Japanese poster. Okay, let's check out these lobby cards. There's Tangina with the family in the background there. And on the back it says, "This house is clean." Another picture of the family there with the doctor, Dr. Lesh. Some people just get lost on the way to the light and they need someone to guide them to it. There you go. Kind of like this idea of putting the quotes on the back rather than it just being a blank card. We've got much more than a paranormal episode taking place here. Dr. Ryan Mitchell. Another picture of Carol Ann cowering under the sheets. They're here. And then a picture of Diane Freeling after she comes out of the porthole holding Carol Ann with all that sort of afterbirth stuff covering her, or ectoplasm maybe. And the quote on the back is, "Do not go into the light, stop where you are, turn away from it, don't even look at it." Oh, cool. Still hard to believe that this movie was a PG. It knows what scares you, which is of course a quote from Tangina. And was on the poster as well. Such a gnarly image that. I believe it was Spielberg's hands that we see there. The swimming pool. Trying to pull herself out. You only move the headstones. Why? Why? Quote from Steve Freeling. Craig T. Nelson. Mom, open the door, Mom. Robbie Freeling. Little quote from him on the back there. And that's it. Those are the lobby cards. And then in terms of extras, we have They Are Here, the Real World of Poltergeist documentary in 2 parts, The Science of the Spirits and Communing with the Dead, and then The Making of Poltergeist and a theatrical trailer. And it's worth noting that this actually isn't in Dolby Vision, unlike The Shining. This is just HDR with a Dolby Audio and DTS HD Master Audio soundtrack. So yeah, I mean, Poltergeist is one of those movies that I really have a close connection to, having, you know, being able to experience it when it first came out, or when it first came to VHS back in the early 80s. It is one of my favorite horror. I see it as a gateway horror. I see it as a horror that you could, if you had kids, you could probably show them this movie and it would be kind of quite accessible for them. And, you know, like a lot of the Spielberg movies around that time, it's that kind of tone that it has, that, you know, that kind of skeleton in the closet tone that he brought to a lot of his movies, particularly the Indiana Jones movies back then. And so, yeah, Poltergeist is a movie that, whilst Tobe Hooper directed it, and a lot of people would disagree on that, there's a lot of theories out there that maybe he wasn't the guy that directed it and that Spielberg had more of a hand in that production than Tobe did. Then you get people like Mick Garris, who was publicist, I believe, on that film, and he says that he was there all the time. And he said that Tobe Hooper 100% directed that film. But it is a horror classic, and it's nice to see that Warner's have gone to all this effort to produce this Film Vault box set, which, like I said, is fucking huge. You could probably kill someone with this thing. It's that big and heavy. That's it, folks. That's all I have to say about this. So I haven't watched them yet. I just kind of literally received them yesterday, so I thought I'd just jump on and do a little unboxing of them so you guys can see what they are. I think they come out in this country on Monday, so I got them a couple of days early. But yeah, we've been talking Poltergeist, we've been talking The Shining on the Horror of the 80s, which is a series that I'm doing at the moment. I'll put a link to the first episode up there somewhere, so you can maybe follow those through and see what movies exactly were spoken about and which ones reigned supreme in those episodes. They were all done by live vote. It's fully interactive, so if you're around on a Thursday at 10 o'clock, perhaps you could maybe join us this week. This Thursday, the 25th of September, we'll be talking the horror of 1984. So Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Final Chapter, Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Terror in the Isles, all sorts of movies we're going to be talking about. And you're welcome to come along and join us for that live vote. The link will be down in the description below to that episode. So hopefully we'll see more of you there. We have about 90 people joining us per episode and voting. So it's really, really cool. There's a really good community and a lot of great 80s horror fans that join us. So feel free to join, and I shall see you all very soon. See you Thursday, hopefully, on that episode. Cheers, folks. Bye-bye.